Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. The Great Purge has begun, folks. As I am recording this video, the current sitting president of the United States of America, President Donald Trump, has been officially permanently suspended from Twitter. This is the highest level of escalation in terms of left-wing authoritarianism we have seen. It's unconstitutional. It's literally illegal. Didn't the Supreme Court just rule that public officials cannot block other public officials and you cannot ban public official accounts? I'm pretty sure this is illegal, but outside of the fact that it's illegal, it's wrong, it's morally reprehensible, and there's no way it's going to lead to anything good. The left has been crying for this for so long. There's a boat right now, as I'm recording this video, outside of Jack Dorsey's house with a massive sign that says, "Twitter, please ban Trump." Michelle Obama recently called for his account to be banned, and we are currently experiencing an absolute onslaught against Trump and conservatives across the board. We're all in danger. We're in serious trouble. I mean, I've had paranoia for a long time, basically since I started my channel. Is political bias ever going to make them come after me? Am I going to lose everything I've built? It's a constant paranoia that every conservative YouTuber, conservative commentator is constantly dealing with. The element of cancel culture, but more importantly, authoritarian leftism from Silicon Valley. But right now, friends, people are absolutely petrified, and do you blame them? This is the highest level of escalation we have seen yet. It's wrong on so many different levels, but even more importantly than that, it's just bad policy. It's a bad decision. This is not helpful. It's pouring fuel on the flames. It's escalating the issue, and it's going to create radicalism. It's going to further divide. And what I'm questioning myself in all these videos that I'm making in my analysis is that the point? Are they doing it on purpose? But we're going to cover everything. Let's get on topic here. The president's account has officially been permanently suspended, and here's the message from the Twitter team. Permanent suspension of @RealDonaldTrump. After close review of recent tweets from the @RealDonaldTrump account and the context around them, specifically how they are being received and interpreted on and off of Twitter, we have permanently suspended the account due to risk of further incitement of violence. The context of the horrific events this week, we made it clear on Wednesday that additional violations of the Twitter rules would potentially result in this very course of action. Our public interest framework exists to enable the public to hear from elected officials and world leaders directly. It is built on a principle that the people have right to hold power to account in the open. However, we made it clear going back years that these accounts are not above our rules entirely and cannot use Twitter to incite violence, among other things. We will continue to be transparent around our policies and their enforcement. The below is a comprehensive analysis of our policy enforcement approach in this case. Overview. On January 8th, 2021, President Donald Trump tweeted, "The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form." Shortly thereafter, the president tweeted, "To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. Did you guys just read what I said? The president's completely benign tweets, after he had on multiple occasions disavowed the violence, called for people to go home, did everything that Joe Biden failed to do during the months of BLM protests and riots. They say that these benign, normal tweets, regular statements, are incitements to violence. What kind of backwards Looney Tune world are we living in? This is not about doing the right thing. This is about power. This is about an onslaught on everything Trumpist." But let's get into their reasoning, give them the benefit of the doubt. Due to the ongoing tensions in the United States and the uptick in the global conversation in regards to the people who violently stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021, these two tweets must be read in the context of broader events in the country and the ways in which the president's statements can be mobilized by different audiences, including to incite violence, as well as in the context of the pattern of behavior from this account in recent weeks. After assessing the language in these tweets against our glorification of violence policy, we have determined that these tweets are in violation of the glorification of violence policy, and the user @RealDonaldTrump should be immediately permanently suspended from the service. I am completely at a loss for words, folks. Honestly, I am completely at a loss for words. What happened on January 6th is being used as an excuse for the authoritarian left to get completely out of control. Completely out of control. The double standard is absolutely horrible. The violence that was perpetrated against government buildings, against small business, against the little guy, against Democrats as well. Ted Wheeler just recently got punched in the face by an Antifa person on the streets. The left paid for it. Activist groups were flying out Antifa across the country. Kamala Harris was fundraising for bail funds to get rioters out of jail. So many public figures literally called for violence, called for it to continue, enabled it. Chris Cuomo famously saying, "Where does it say that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful?" One time, one day, day. The media just got the excuse that they needed, and they are taking a mile. And the Democrats are absolutely ecstatic. There's now a Twitter party, a party of leftists, celebrating that the president got banned. It's almost like Stockholm Syndrome or something. They call themselves liberals, yet they're ecstatic and they're cheering on a massive corporation, a monopolistic corporation, the tech oligarchs within Silicon Valley, flexing their muscle to deny Americans, and even beyond that, the president of the United States, his rights, his freedom of speech, based on shoddy logic at best. The president literally posted a video condemning the violence, saying, I understand that you guys are hurting, but you can't do this and you gotta go home. And they twisted it in a way to make it seem as if the president, what he really meant, it was a dog whistle to his base, and deleted the video. Then they're doing the same thing with these two benign tweets that anybody who's reading this from an honest perspective knows the president is not condoning or calling for violence whatsoever, and they use it as an excuse to go after him. Why would the president want to encourage violence? He knows that it's hurting his legacy. He doesn't want to be remembered for the days of January 6th and the insurrection. He wants to be remembered for all of the good that he did. Why would he do that? He's clearly genuine when he's calling for people to be peaceful. He's done it his entire time in office. He's called for an end of violence. He's never once incited a riot in his entire tenure in office. Trump supporters have had a stellar track record of holding totally peaceful protests, not mostly peaceful, not burning down buildings, looting, arson, and homicides like we've seen from the left non-stop, but a total track record of absolute love for country, enthusiasm, and peace. It's absolutely despicable. And this is why the GOP establishment has failed you since the start. Antitrust laws should have been passed a whole lot long ago. Reform to Section 230 should have been done a whole lot long ago. But the GOP establishment never had your back. They want Trump and his base to be suppressed. They want the GOP to remain the neocon party of the past. And like we always say, the left gets an inch, they take a mile. It's not just Twitter. It's not just President Trump. It's not just me. It's not just you. Apple banned Parler from the App Store. The social network app, favored by conservatives, has been given an ultimatum by Apple, 24 hours to institute a moderation policy, or they're going to remove them from the App Store. They have control over everything. They control the stores. They control the flow of information. They control what people can and can't see, what people can and can't download. This is tyranny, folks. It's literal tech tyranny. And you have liberals, we must say liberals in quotation, just like we say journalists in quotation, cheering it on. It's absolutely despicable. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez retweets this. The calls for violence over Parler are getting much, much worse. And of course, Parler, with threats of being removed from the App Store and Google Play, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, what are Apple and Google Play doing about this? Once again, pushing for more censorship and suppression of platforms that they don't have control over. Do I support calls for violence on Parler? Absolutely not. But it's just used as an excuse to slander and moralize their immoral position, as if Antifa hasn't been calling for violence on Facebook, Twitter, and every single platform for months with absolutely no repercussion. Those calls to violence which have actually materialized on multiple occasions. We are facing the greatest threat to civil liberties and the Constitution in modern history. And it's been a process that's been happening slowly for the past 4 years. It's something I've been talking about forever. The focus on voting machines and all of this stuff during the election was a complete distraction. The focus should have always been big tech, big media, who have been the greatest force of election interference since the start. They've taken it, they've seized power, and now they're using that power to ensure that they can grow and keep their clutch around American elections, American speech, and information for the foreseeable future. This is the biggest threat to democracy, the biggest threat to Western civilization in modern history. And the fact that it's not a bipartisan issue, the fact that lefties are encouraging it and are trying to put right-wingers that they disagree with into digital gulags is so absolutely disheartening. I don't know where we go from here, folks. This is just bad policy all around. The left is continuing with their authoritarian means, thinking that they're somehow purging the world of unsavory ideas and unsavory perspectives, but all they are doing is oppressing an opposing group. And if they think that the opposing group is just going to fall in line, I'd say that's quite naive. They are creating radicalism. They're creating a disenfranchised class that's going to revolt, and it's really, really bad. I'm sounding the alarms here because, man, this is not going to lead to anything good. People need to seriously open their eyes to what's going on. Yet as I say this, the horrible part is that I'm speaking into an echo chamber. I'm suppressed. A sect of my own viewers are turning against me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to affect this and stop the inevitable from happening. But this is bad, and it's about to get a whole lot worse, folks. I don't know how we fix it. I don't have the answers. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we can go somewhere positive with this. That's what I got for you guys on this one. Please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, support the channel. We really need it right now, folks. It's been a really rough last couple days, but I'm going to continue to strive to push for positivity, positive populism, and not falling into the trap of radicalism. We got to be better. We got to present a good, positive message that brings people in, and we got to fight against evil. But now I got to get back to work. Thanks for watching, guys, and of course, I'll see you on the next one.